All right, it's Ian Mick back here for the NFL. Good, though. So let's recap this past week's college football picks. I mean, yes, I ended up losing. I talked so much shit, and I ended up losing to Max by a game. It was a close, tight one, but Max ended up beating me in this week's picks last week. So, yeah, hope I do better in week 2. But, yeah, let's recap some of the week 1 notable matchups we talked about last week in college football. It started this past Thursday, with Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, in year 2 as the Colorado head coach. I told you it'd be a lot closer game. Sure enough, it did. It was a lot closer than the experts think. I called that one. I knew that was coming. But yeah, give North Dakota State a lot of credit. They hung in there, but Colorado hung on and won. They only won by 5 points. They didn't cover the spread, obviously. So I knew it would be closer than the experts. I knew it would be a closer game. So yeah, North Dakota State hung in there, but Colorado eked out a win. So Coach Prime starts the year once again 1-0, second year in a row, winning the season opener. We'll see how they do next week. Yeah, so this upcoming week, yeah. So they won week 1. So the other notable Thursday night game was North Carolina, Minnesota. Low scoring, but it was a close, very back and forth game. It was such a toss. I knew it was a good one. Technically test the game the whole way. Minnesota had a chance to go for the game-winning field goal. Then missed. So yeah, North Carolina kicked the field goal before Minnesota missed there. So yeah, Carolina squeaked out a win by a point, by 2 points. So, yeah, Carolina won. So yeah, I had Minnesota win that one. So that was a kind of stunner, but it was a close game. Both Power 5, both big schools going at it. So now it's Power 4 instead of Power 5 because we got 4 conferences this year instead of 5 for the Power 5 level. So they had a couple of notable Friday games. They were not entertaining. The one was not entertaining at all was the Temple-Oklahoma game. Oklahoma just pretty much blew them out, which that was we kind of knew it was going to be not even close. We knew that Oklahoma was going to blow out Temple. And FAU and Michigan State was pretty entertaining, though. We thought it was going to be a blowout, but man, FAU hung in. There was a low-scoring defensive game, but MSU hung on. They really lucked out this week. They really got lucky, honestly, this past Friday night. 116-10. Honestly, they should have lost, in my opinion, but they'll take the win. Because they're not going to get that much wins this season. They're in a tough conference. There's no doubt MSU's in a tougher conference this year. So is the Big Ten. Now adding Oregon and Washington, USC, and UCLA to the mix. That conference just got tougher for sure, the Big Ten this year. So those were Friday's games. Now let's go on to Saturday games. Yes. Let me go on a rant, guys. Let me just vent to everyone about my Virginia Tech Hokies, how disgusted I am. They lost to a bad team. They got it going at the later, but at one point it was 17-0 Vanderbilt. At one point, it was. But Virginia Tech came all the way back. They stormed back. Pretty much had the lead at one point, 27-20. But Vanderbilt tied it up. It was 27-0. Then Vanderbilt had a chance to go for the game-winning field goal in regulation and not send it to overtime. But no, they missed it, so the game went to overtime. And then Vanderbilt gets a touchdown to start overtime, and then Virginia Tech failed their drive. So Vanderbilt shockingly beats Virginia Tech. Not a good start for your Hokies fan. There's a lot of concerns, including myself as a Hokies fan. There's a lot of concern, I'd say. Very concerned about this team this year. Yes, they had more Hokie fans than Vanderbilt fans in that stadium, and they still lost. It felt like a home game. First of all. Second off, offense got played. They did better in the second half and all that, but the defense, it starts with the defense. The defense played poorly. They played poorly this past Saturday. That's the grade I could put them. I gave the defense an F for sure. They looked terrible. They forced some sacks and all, but still, they played terrible. They couldn't stop Vanderbilt at all most of the day. And yes, we're lucky we got to overtime, but just what can you do about that? So Virginia Tech falls short. Of course, another notable Saturday game we saw is Penn State, West Virginia. I had West Virginia pulling the upset, but I didn't go my way. And Penn State proved me wrong. Penn State blowing out West Virginia on the road. Of course, he had that 2.5-hour rain delay, too, because of thunderstorms out in West Virginia. So, yeah, Penn State, despite that, they resumed playing, but pretty much Penn State really just ran away with it and beat West Virginia. That one was man, I thought West Virginia was going to at least put up a fight, but no. Penn State was all Penn State in that one for sure. And Clemson and Georgia, I knew Georgia was going to just run all over Clemson, which they did. Clemson didn't get in the end zone at all. It was 34-3, so Georgia's defense is really elite, but we didn't expect them to be that great, they could at least, and Clemson usually at least gets a touchdown. But oh man, Dabo Sweeney, I think Dabo Sweeney is on the hot seat this season. I really think it is. So I feel like this season his job's on the line. Yes, I know they played against Georgia the first game. I get it, but I think his job should be on the line for sure. He's up in the hot seat this year. Clemson's overrated every year. Last few years, they had 11-win season. I don't know how they did with DJ Uiagalelei. But yeah, no one ACC championship game. The ACC is only the first game, but that's a team that's overrated too. Putting them at number 14 and just they dropped to 25. They should not be ranked, honestly. They'll be unranked at some point this year. I guarantee it. Of course, Pitt, Kent State, that wasn't much of a contest. Pitt pretty much just rolled them and dropped a 50 burger on Kent State. The Golden Flashes from representing the MAC. So yeah. Both PA teams won, so I bet you my buddy Max Garvin's in a good mood, you know. Both his teams winning over the weekend. I didn't. Unfortunately, so yeah. You had Miami beating Florida, which I did not expect Miami to blow them out. I mean, okay, it would be a closer game, but the Gators, I know they're unranked, but there should be concerns in Gainesville now. There should be a lot of media attention. I'm sure everyone's be criticizing the Florida Gators all week, I'm sure, about that loss. Especially on home field. That's just embarrassing. Especially for a top-tier program like Florida over the years, you know. They're not the same as they used to be in the Urban Meyer days and having, you know, Tim Tebow, some of the other great studs they had in that team those days, you know. So, yeah, they're having a rough year. Rough year for Billy Napier. I think his third season as the head coach now. So that was a 3:30 game he had there. Then the Saturday night game was Texas A&M and Notre Dame. It was back and forth. There's no doubt it was a close game the whole way. But Notre Dame pulled away late, won by 10. That was a tough road test for them, but Notre Dame prevailed. They got the win. They moved up to the top 5 this week in the rankings. I had a feel Notre Dame's going to win that one. Riley Leonard looks pretty good, though, his first start as a Notre Dame quarterback. He hasn't had any touchdown passes, but they did everything they could to win. Their run game, I mean, their running attack's pretty good this year. Start with Jeremiah Love. He's been pretty good for Notre Dame. 14 carries, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Notre Dame looked pretty solid, though. We'll see how they do. I mean, they got Northern Illinois. That's an easy win for them for week 2. Then you had the Sunday game, USC and LSU. Did not expect USC to win. So LSU dropped from 13, I think they dropped 11 spots this week, I think. That's right. Yeah. Or 5, actually. They could have dropped 11, but yeah, they dropped 5 spots. They dropped out of the top 15 now. USC, meanwhile, made a big launch. The number 13, so they're a top 15 team now. Did not expect that. I had LSU winning that one, but USC prevailed. I mean, first game without Caleb Williams now because Caleb Williams in the NFL now. And USC won that one. But this is the bigger shocker compared to what we saw, you know, Virginia Tech Vanderbilt. This we did not see coming. I know they lost to Georgia Tech already, but Florida State lost again. They lost this past Monday on Labor Day. At home against Boston College. Good for BC, but Florida State, the most overrated top 10 team, they should not be ranked. And I'm glad they are unranked. I knew they'd be unranked once they lost this one, too. They're definitely unranked. Losing to both Georgia Tech and Boston College. I'd even put Norvell in the hot seat for Florida State. Florida State is going to have a long season. The ACC is not going to run through them. I can tell you that right now. There's going to be a different ACC championship this year. It will not be Florida State. They'll not repeat it. Bash at the Berlin. So let's recap that. I mean, let's see how Instigator make how many matches he got right. This past weekend. So yeah, first match started with the undisputed WWE Championship match. It was Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Had a 23-minute match, but Cody Rhodes prevailed and is still your undisputed WWE champion. So Cody Rhodes beats Kevin Owens. So that's a 1-for-1 start for me. I had Cody Rhodes winning that match. Next, you have the tag team champions for the women's tag team match for the women's tag team titles. It's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill trying to get their titles back against the Unholy Union. So the Unholy Union were the women's tag team champions going in that match, but I told you what was going to happen. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, that powerhouse duo, are your new women's tag team champions. So that's a good start. So I said at least one championship was going to change hands. I think that was the one so far. So yeah, it's going to make out to 2-for-2 start in the next. Then you have McIntyre versus CM Punk. It was a very physical match, a strap match it was. They're going back and forth. Man, Punk was bleeding at one point. CM Punk was bleeding at one point. But yeah, CM Punk beat Drew McIntyre. And yeah, finally gets revenge on McIntyre. And yeah, then the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, former Judgment Day members against the new version of the Judgment Day, which is Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. They got their revenge. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley got some revenge on those two after what we saw at SummerSlam. So they got some. But I'm sure Damian Priest is not done with the Judgment Day yet. I'm sure he's not done yet. He's still got a problem with Finn Balor. He's still got to take care of him still. Take care of business with him. Rhea Ripley's still not done yet with Liv Morgan, I'm sure. She wants a title shot at some point. So they won the mixed tag team match. Then the last match was Gunther and Randy Orton. The main event was for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was a very physical 30-minute match. It was a very physical match. But Gunther is still your World Heavyweight Champion. So I finished with perfect 5 for 5. So Instigator Mick did a lot better than the WWE predictions this week. Didn't lose at all. So yeah, Gunther is still your World Heavyweight Champion. So that was the only pick. That was the only championship that was going to change hands. I knew the tag team championship was the only one that's going to change hands. Women's tag team championship were easy. So yeah. Now let's make some picks for this week for football, both college and the NFL. Let's start with the college ones. Start with a Friday night game, 9 o'clock on FS1. It is Duke at Northwestern. Northwestern has to play in a practice facility as their stadium this year. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Duke and Northwestern is an annual matchup every year, non-conference matchup. So battle the smart schools. But it's 2.5. Northwestern's kind of the favorites, but I'm going to stick with Duke still. I know both these teams might have down years, but I like Duke better in this one. They'll win on the road. It's not going to be... seriously. They're going to win a practice facility. Duke prevails. AC over the Big Ten. That one. But here's the biggest matchup. This is where College Game Day's coming to, and Big Noon Saturday for Fox. So Ann Arbor is the place to be this weekend in Michigan. Yeah. It's a top 10 matchup. We have Texas number 3 taking on number 10 Michigan. So yeah, ESPN College Game Day will be there. Of course, you have Big Noon Saturday kickoff will be there. The Fox Sports crew will be there. So yeah, media's gonna be everywhere. I'm sure Pat McAfee's gonna be there. The Pat McAfee show. It's gonna be crazy there. Texas, obviously a playoff contender. They got Quinn Ewers back for another season. They were there last year. Michigan, meanwhile, they're the defending national champs. You don't talk about that much. They easily beat Fresno State, while Texas had an easy win over Colorado State. This is in the Big House. This is gonna be a tough environment for Texas to play in, I'm sure, but this is gonna be a must-watch game for this weekend at noon on Fox. So I'm going to take Texas, honestly. Michigan, as much as I can, Michigan's have a little down year. They'll definitely not be a top 10 team after this one. Texas is going to roll in this one for sure. Quinn Ewers, I'm telling you, that Texas team is going to prevail. Hook 'em horns. Give me the Longhorns over Michigan any day. Michigan's going to be overrated this year. But they did have a good championship run. Next, you got Pitt and Cincinnati.